Hello guys, this is Nikki, you also known as Space Trader, and you're watching the January 21 Philippine Market Update. This is the Philippines, so this is Thursday. Take a look at the Philippines, you're seeing a junkyard drop. So we have always been cautioning people for quite a long time now that most of these are unsustainable. And so you get the reckoning. The truth is, this 30% drop is not far from over. You get to see a drop today, you get to see a drop tomorrow, a drop the next day. Even if it goes up, you've got a lower high and a lower high. Goodbye your money. So BSC down 30%, AR down 29%, OV down 30%, IS down 29%, OPM 29%. It doesn't mean that just because they're down 30% today that it's far from over. Sure, it can go up tomorrow, but all of these drops are telling you that the froth is there, and therefore people just want to take profits and even cut their losses if they don't even have a profit. Take note at the top traded names today. Top 10 tells you that most of the names are actually all in the red. You could see that everyone trading in the Philippine markets, if they haven't sold, are really bleeding money. Save for the fact that there's Dito, ASEAN, and MM and BTO. However, those greens are not necessarily going to be sustainable. Perhaps are also going to be sold. So this is actually a selling market. As you could see, the Philippine market is being continually sold down. You could see that the index names are actually 12 billion pesos. Let's take a look at your market value. For the last couple of days, yes, the market value is very strong, but it seems as if it's the quacking ducks that are being fed, i.e., the people who deserve to lose money have to lose money so that they need to learn their lessons. So you got Foreignet selling for 1 billion pesos, no mercy, selling off. You could see that the market likes to sell a lot of shares, PSEI down, all shares down. Although financials are up, you're actually still in a range resistance with capped upside resistance. Industrials down, holdings down, properties up, mining down. You're seeing services down. I wouldn't be actually surprised if you are still selling your shares because at the end of the day, what share do you have that actually rose in a sustainable manner? If you know that it's not sustainable, you better get the hell out as much as you can. Let's read the index first. Let's read it. Your Ayala land is at 40 bucks. Is that a resistance? Even if it goes to 44, 45, your upside is small, your downside is also equal. So at 40 bucks, you're better off selling. BDO 112, is that a high resistance? Yes. Even if it goes to 120, it can also fall down to 102. With risk reward 1:1, what's best to do? Sell. San Miguel Corp 127.5. You've got your report. You have your support at about 105, 110, but you've got resistance at 135. As you could see, most of the resistance in the market is that at 7,000, you're actually 50-50. It can go to 6.6, but it can also go 7.4. At this point in time, I would suggest that people have had their profits taken off or some of their capital taken off, deployed elsewhere. Where is that elsewhere? Possibly globally. Metrobank 47.5. At this point in time, this is also resistance at 50, but there's a lot of buyers at 45 below. So you could see that we are actually stuck in a range for PSEI. Pure Gold 39, this is one of the oversold count in the market. You'll notice that for Pure Gold, Robinson's Retail, these are companies that can actually rally higher because the risk is what? Less than 5%. The reward is what? 20, 30%. In those scenarios, your Pure Gold is one of those safe havens that the market will actually voyeur into if they don't want to actually put their cash in cash. If they want to put their cash in somewhere else that's safe, most likely it's going to go to some of these oversold counters like Pure Gold. Now, DMC at 538, yes, we see a lot of support at 5. However, it hasn't reached 5 yet. So let's see. It's a 5 to 6 range for your DMC. Aboitiz Power 26. Let's try to read later the website of AP, but Aboitiz Power is a utility. It hasn't moved from 25 to 30 for the last 6, 7, 8 months. I don't think that it will actually move higher except it's going to sleep. ICT 129, also at resistance. You've got the supports below 100. MPI 431, you've got support at 360, 20% lower. Mega World at 414. Price, it's not price to perfection. However, at 414, even if it goes up, you can tell me that it's about 10%, right? But the downside is where? 3 bucks, 3.2. So when you're assessing the risk reward of the Philippine market, it's not actually appetizing to buy into it anymore. Now, your Robinson's Land at 21, also high. It's not at 15 anymore. We have suggested at 15, 16, but now at 21, it's probably you've sold some and then you're just waiting whether it goes 23 or if it falls 18, that's when you're going to enter it again. Now, Emperador is stuck at $10, does nothing. Globe 21 stuck there. Luciatan stuck there, 13. Aboitiz Power, Ayala Corp is stuck at 800, 795. SM is just stuck at 1,060, 1,050. AGI stuck at 10. Security Bank 136. First Gen $30. AEV 45. GG Summit 74. BPI 83. Jollibee 187. Bloomberry 7.9. Robinson's Retail 63. Meralco 286. GT Cap 545. Telephone 1435, URC 148.7, SM Prime 38.5. What's interesting to me actually in the market right now, other than Pure Gold at about 38, 39, I was saying Robinson's Retail at 63 all the way to 57 is interesting. Meralco, if it falls about 275 below, it's also interesting to pick up. But with that, most of the companies in the Philippine market, they don't actually present a bullish bias, at least from an index standpoint. What I mean is that it's 50-50. Can go up, can go down, but not a lot of upside. Now, let's take a look at your stats today. You'll see that the top traded names are not even the index names. Most of them are actually what you'll call speculative names and penny stock names. APL now is down 20% at 2.3 billion pesos, sold heavily down. To illustrate how big of a drop this is, you have to understand that it also rose quite significantly. We're talking about a 5 centavo going as high as 50 centavo, nearing 10x. And what's important is that this has happened in just less than 3 months. This is December, this is January. You could see that this drop, even if tomorrow it goes up, it's actually likely to fall further back to about 20 cents. And even if it falls 20 cents, who knows, can even go 14 cents. I'm not saying that's going to go down quite fast. However, what you could see is that if it's unsustainable, it is unsustainable. So these types of moves are very unsustainable, and therefore those who have it should actually be selling. And if you haven't sold, at 30 here at 30 cents and all the way to 40 cents, any price that you sold today, I'd say that you've made a lot of profits already. Pigs get slaughtered, remember that. So if you're a pig, you probably deserve to get slaughtered first tomorrow. There's African swine flu, so maybe all the pigs have to get slaughtered first. Let's take a look at the stats here. Top traded. So you're seeing APL go down. BSC has rallied. BSC rallied from about 40 cents as high as $2. So now at 119, what's the story of BSC? BSC has at the very least, they're trying to really say that they want to restructure. However, you've seen this triple ceiling up, right? This was a ceiling at 70 cents, a ceiling at 105, another ceiling at 150. It even went as high as $2. So after that $2, people suddenly sold. The top was about 2.15. Lo and behold, it fell at 119. Amongst these names, I think that there are some people who are really willing to buy BSC at 99 cents. So I'd say the people who are buying 99 cents all the way to 59 cents are already ready to pound in, whether it falls tomorrow or maybe it goes up. Nonetheless, if it goes up, take note that you have a lot of resistance at 150. I think that BSC has a range of about 1 peso to 2 peso. Given that your 150 is a lot of resistance today, it might even overshoot that 1 peso. Try to see if there's a support at 90 cents for your BSC. If you think that you believe that this company is a wind and related solar energy partner in Myanmar, right? You have read about it. Now, let's take a look at some stats here. What else are the top traded names? Your Dito Telecom continued higher, but at these levels, guys, we're talking about 1 to 12. This is a 10x move already. How high can it go? No matter how bullish you are, I'd say that people who are not yet selling, this is a distribution. The distribution takes a long time. It means that at 14 all the way to 10, even at 9, it's being sold down. So you got to be careful if you haven't sold a single share. Distribution, if you don't understand it, you just do a Google search, everything can be unlocked for you. Now, top traded Dito distribution, FA is also in a distribution manner. Take note that Dito, FA, ASEN, just because they're green today doesn't mean that it negates that distribution. ASEN here at about 10, all the way to about 5, 7, even this rally is at about 750 tomorrow, this is still being distributed. Mary Mart is still being distributed, sold. Dito, Marymart, FA, what else? We're talking about FA? FA, okay, FA went from about 30 cents all the way to $3. As it falls to 9 to 230, sure, it can go perhaps to 260, but look, this is all distribution, lower high. Now, if you want to repair this and you want to go all-time highs yet again, it's going to take time. Why? Because all the people who sold here at about 3 and 330 might never get back in. You're not sure if they're going to get back in unless you can actually predict that this is going to go 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. So I don't know if that's going to happen. All I could see is that this is a sell-off. What else? All right. So let's take a look at your top traded names. APL, BSC, Dito, FA, AR, MRC, ABA. Okay, let's take a look at that. AR. All right. Even worse. AR. Nobody even trades this. Yes, from about 8 went to about 60. We're talking about an 8x move. No, it even went 13. We're talking about your 8 going to 130, falling down to about 60. Can it go down to 30? Sure. Doesn't matter, right? ABA, a lot of really junk stocks in the Philippines, guys. I mean, I'm not saying that junk stocks are bad. Maybe some people love junk stocks and they probably deserve to make money and lose money at the same time. I don't know, really. At the end of the day, it's people's choice. People's Choice Awards. All right. So 50 cents, it went to about, what do you call this? It went to about 188. Now it's fallen to about 97 cents. Tomorrow it's 77 cents. The next day it's 47 cents. Well, it might not happen tomorrow or the next day. Tomorrow it can even go up 137. But you can see that these are all resistances. So what you could see in the Philippines, really nothing. So let's try to read about Aboitiz Power today. Somebody asked me in the comment last night, well, what do you think about Aboitiz Power? I said, all right, let's just read about it. Aboitiz Power is known as Aboitiz Power, a subsidiary of Aboitiz Equity Ventures. It's a holding company engaged in utilities, primarily power generation, distribution, and retail electricity services. We're going to read a lot about Aboitiz Power in their own website. So, about us, let's take a look at that. Let's try to read from the website itself. It says here that our organization is a conglomerate, and this is our company. Aboitiz Equity Ventures has a power company, which is 72% Aboitiz Power. That is the conglomerate. This is a company that has 3 separate businesses. You've got retail electricity supply, you've got power generation, you've got power distribution. In their power generation, they generate power from 100% ownership on Aboitiz Renewables. When we're talking about renewables, we're talking about 100% ownership in Luzon Hydro, Headcore. You've got Headcore Sibulan, Headcore Tudaya, Subangan, Bukidnon, Asaya Gas Corp, Maaraw Holdings, San Carlos Sun Power, Aboitiz and Power Distributed Energy. You've got Manila Oslo Renewable Enterprises. So basically a lot of power companies in the Philippines. Here you get to see 60% ownership in Cebu Private Power Corporation, which is an owner and an indirect beneficiary of East Asia Utilities Corporation, STEAG State Power, Southern Philippines, Western Mindanao Power, Therma Power, Therma Luzon, Therma South, Therma Marine, Therma Power, Pagbilao Energy. All of these are actually under Aboitiz Power. Take note, they distribute power in Davao. It says here Davao Light, Visayan Electric, Cotabato Light and Power, Cotabato Ice Plant, San Fernando Electric Light and Power, Subic Enerzone Corporation, Mactan, Balamban, Lima, Malvar. And more importantly, you could see that they also have an ownership stake internationally. This is Aboitiz Power International PTE and International BV. You also have Energy Solutions, Advent Energy, Maserati Energy Corporation. It's Maserati, not Maserati. All right, so let's take a look at the businesses. And we'll go to the latest annual reports as well. So you could see that they have hydro, large hydro, geothermal, solar, coal, oil. So right now, a lot of their businesses are actually coal and oil. Their solar is not yet big. It's just one AP Renewables. They've got large hydro new projects, run-of-the-river hydro projects. Well, let's take a look at them one by one. Ta-da-dan! Okay. So let's read it. They've got a hydroelectric system, how it works, got it. All right. What we need to do is actually understand how big of the revenues are part of their are part of the power generation. Example, you want to understand the breakdown of how much each of these sectors contributes to their billions of revenues and thereby their profits eventually. So San Carlos Sun Power operates a 59 megawatt solar photovoltaic in San Carlos, Negros Occidental. This is a 3.7 billion peso facility, the first solar power plant project of Aboitiz Power, and the first venture in Negros Island region. Sakasan is the 29th renewable energy generation facility of Aboitiz Power, and the solar farm helps prevent the emission of more than 44,000 tons of carbon dioxide in over 20 years, which is equivalent to taking around 10,000 cars off the road. Capacity is about 59 megawatts, and commissioning is March 2016. Okay, so AP Renewables here, they say that they've got the following things. They are the leading geothermal energy producer in the country, delivering clean and renewable baseload power in Tiwi, Albay, Calauan, Laguna, Santo Tomas, Batangas. APRI acquired 2 facilities from Salm in July 2008 and took over the ownership and operation on May 25, 2009. These plants are actually the Tiwi, the 234 megawatt in Tiwi Albay, and then you're commissioning Macban geothermal power plant. So these are all the geothermal power plants of your Aboitiz Power. In terms of clean energy, they have a lot there. They are awarded, they've got a history. I think that you want to check their business at a glance and go to their latest annual report, as well as the downloads and highlights. I actually usually want to go to their presentations. We're going to go watch if they have it, no? The Clean Energy Center is an educational facility. This is in Laguna. So they have audiovisual presentations. Visit us on clean energy. All right. Here, 2019, they're the Outstanding Energy Company awarded by Asia Money. They got the certificate of recognition even by DepEd for their Cotabato Light, Davao Light and Power, and all these things. Why don't we watch a few of these power plants of Aboitiz Power? I'll go to their website. I'm pretty sure they have their own social media channel. So let's go to Aboitiz Power. Maybe they have a Twitter account. Let's see. Okay, Mark Jones, who's this? Aboitiz Company, Aboitiz Careers. All right, let's try to see if they have a YouTube account then. Aboitiz Power celebrates its 5th year listing, January 9, 2020. We don't need the technical analysis. What we'll need is their expansion. So we'll read about what the company is doing. So they are raising retail bonds. All right. We'll try to see all their retail bond news. Let's go to their news. Aboitiz Power is raising 30 billion pesos. They're operating the Magat hydro plant. That was let's read the 30 billion pesos and what they're talking about, the Bataan. So let's read these things.
Let's go back to one now for a stock market update.
Wait, this is 5 years. So January 9, 2020. They were celebrating their 5th year. So they're a 2015 company, Aboitiz Power Corporation. You want to see them? Power up your 2021. For our watching, let's take a look. It's a live discussion.
Okay.
Final tech
Sige, Marge, mag-spotlight ka ng madaming tao. Tignan natin kung lalabas sila to multiple.
Okay, so I guess they are a live stream right now. We're just gonna watch that later on. Let me see what else they have in their website. Davao Light donates solar charging stations to off-grid. Watch this. Let's see. 1 minute. It's loading. Okay, as you can see from the title, Davao Light donates solar charging station to off-grid farming community. So today, we can actually see that solar power can actually be stored in a battery storage. So you can actually be off the grid with a lot of microgrid controllers. Watch this, all right. Farming community. Okay, wait up.
Is the big man of Aboitiz Power, Mr. Antonio Moraza, President and CEO. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
All right,
So congratulations on the
This is definitely an auspicious day. You know, almost 10 years ago or a little bit beyond is when privatization actually started in the power industry. And this,
those Vietnam and Myanmar that they were talking about here in 2017. And then you could see that in 2020, they're saying that they're going to raise 30 billion pesos in bonds. They're going to issue an 8 billion peso tranche this first quarter 2021. Aboitiz Power said that they're going to do a retail bond offering. With that, 4 billion pesos and another 4 billion for an oversubscription. This is going to be a bond. What they're going to do is that they're going to issue that for generating 1,200 megawatts of renewable energy from its hydro, geothermal, and solar plants. It plans to reach 4,000 megawatt capacity. They want to do that. I don't think this is 2020. They probably want to do that by 2025. So let's try to see what the company's owners are talking about here at ANC News. It's a bond due 2026, so that would be about 6-year bond. Watch this.
Ang mga pelikula mula sa 2020 MMFF, mapapanood nyo na sa KTX. Aboitiz Power listed 7.25 billion fixed rate bonds due 2026 at the Philippine Dealing System Monday. It had clearance from the Securities and Exchange Commission to raise up to 12 billion pesos. But Aboitiz Power Chief Financial Officer Liza Montelibono says they feel they can get better deals by next year as the Philippine Central Bank continues to lower borrowing costs.
And everyone feels, is this really the bottom of it? It will further go down perhaps a little bit. But that being said, I think there's room for us to wait.
Aboitiz Power has about 9.5 billion pesos left under its 30 billion peso shelf registration, which will expire in June 2020. Montelibono says proceeds from the bond sale will be used to pay down expensive debt and to fund prospective projects, both domestic and international, within 5 hours air travel from the Philippines. BPI is another company looking to borrow now that rates are more attractive, but the bank's vice president for global market says the Philippine Central Bank wouldn't want to overdo it.
Now with rates at this point at manageable levels, it's very much appealing to investors. I think that's also why banks are starting to pretty much raise a lot of money. I think if rates trend low, it may not be as appealing anymore to the investor. It may force clients now to consider going offshore or maybe also investing in riskier assets.
The Bangko Sentral cut key interest rates thrice this year by a total.
Okay, guys. So essentially what you're seeing is that these companies like Aboitiz Power, BPI, they're not the only ones. We mentioned this last year that Jollibee availed for a very huge $600 million offering at just 4%. You've got the Ayalas, the SMs, the JG Summits, even your, I think Mega World tapped the bond offering. Essentially, with interest rates so low these days, these big companies are using that cheap money. Even your Jollibee was able to get something like 4%. Wait up. I have to tell people that they can't call me now. Wait. Either way, anyway, if she calls, I'll just answer late. Wait, let me just stop. All right. So what you're seeing is that with abundant cheap money and liquidity, the truth is that the market is actually looking offshore, not necessarily investing in the Philippines. You're noticing that the entire world, you've got China, you've got US, you've got a slew of market opening brokerage firms worldwide are hitting like all-time highs. Let me show you a few all-time high moves. In China, for instance, you've got Chinese people opening accounts all worldwide, and we got the move from Futu, which is the Robin Hood of China, We were entering here at 30. Right now it's $90. And indeed, I was even late at $30. You'll notice that some of us were able to get in at $20. So around March 2020, this was even just $8. What happened here? Why did people go $8 to $90 for Futu? You're seeing that essentially the Philippine market is not just the only market in the world. You're seeing that everyone, considering Chinese, Americans, all of them are stuck in the pandemic at home. Now, there are so many bargains when the market actually collapsed last March 2020. And so it was easy, and I'd say it was very easy to actually make 100 to 200% return, especially if you bought March 2020, not necessarily in the Philippines, but most of the biggest companies in the world. Now, why am I telling you that? Because although we are discussing Aboitiz Power, what Aboitiz Power and Jollibee and all the companies in the world have simply done is take advantage of the liquidity. You're talking about $6 trillion of stimulus that was printed in USA. Don't you wonder why your Philippine peso is 51 before and it's now $1.48 peso? It's not because the Philippine peso is very strong. It's because the dollar is weak. Now, with massive printing of money, what happens with that $6 trillion of dollars? You've got people getting the stimulus checks, $2,000 per person, $600 per person. Some of them, like typically all these Robinhood millennials, they actually went into the market. And so I understand that the Philippine markets don't have a lot of liquidity, but in the end, that huge liquidity benefited your large corporations, your BDOs, your BPIs, even according to, and yes, I would agree, Aboitiz Power is a beneficiary of that. With such abundant liquidity in the market, those are actually being taken advantage by Aboitiz Power. And so with a critical power plant in Bataan going online in 2021, what's happening here? All of these fixed coal-fired power plants that are starting to operate commercially around next year is where actually where Aboitiz Power is trying to get their revenues. To be honest, I think that Aboitiz Power today is not the perfect hydropower plant because you have a lot of companies in the world that reflects a full move on renewable. For instance, I'll give you a clue. All right, I'll give you a free pick. One of the awesome 10x picks is Vestas Wind Systems. Vestas is VWDRY. If you simply want a pure renewable energy play, go further and look out abroad. There are so many companies, one of which is Vestas Wind Systems. And right now, although I have been promoting interactive brokers, I just wanted you to know that apparently inside eToro, you can actually just copy me. eToro.com. So yes, I opened my recent account in eToro. The reason why I didn't open with eToro because it really has a limited selection. I couldn't buy special purpose acquisition companies. Penny stocks are not there. I couldn't buy CD Projekt if I wanted to. You know, it is so limited. I have some drone ideas. It's not listed in eToro. So definitely, I am not going to make a lot of money in eToro. Then again, of course, for the easy companies like Netflix, Beyond Meat, Zoom Video, yes, of course, it's listed in eToro, which is where I actually entered in. You'll notice that I entered my eToro account just January 13, 2021. I put 50,000 pesos or $1,035. I saw that it worked, so I opened another $4,000 or 200,000 pesos, which means that I entered 250,000 pesos inside my eToro account. Inside my eToro account, you could copy people. You could copy anyone you want, and actually, you can copy me. If you want to copy me, just copy me. You'll notice that the people who copied me copied my Netflix, now 39% up, Teladoc Health, which is the telehealth industry of the world, the number one when it comes to telemedicine visits. It's 15%. The best doctors are there in Teladoc. Now, General Motors is of course, a beneficiary of Wuling Motors and GM Cruise. Last night, GM Cruise just partnered with Microsoft. Now, if you're not aware of who GM Cruise is, General Motors is the robo-taxis of the world. It's not just going to be Tesla that's winning the game. A lot of electric vehicles will win the game. Zoom Video was falling at about 350, 340, so I felt that 360 was a good entry price. Entered in, it's 10% up right now. Beyond Meat, all of these companies, Beyond Meat, Facebook, it's all listed in eToro, and you could see straight in your eyes, these are company picks that I've bought. And so my $2,000 is now up $200, slightly 10% up. Now, that might not seem attractive to you, but 10% up in a week, especially when you can buy companies that you love anyway, is very easy. I am proud to own these companies, and these are not companies that I buy to sell tomorrow. Just because I'm up 30%, I might actually just trim half. I'm going to hold them for the long term. Of course, I mentioned Vestas. Yes, Vestas, I'm willing to buy at 1.4 all the way to 1,000. You can notice that I would allocate just 5% or even less sometimes when I want to buy a company. Take note that this $5,000 investment right now is for the month of January. I may add some point within February or March, April, May. This will not be the end all and be all for my entire 2021 account for eToro. So I think for eToro, you can just keep copying me. So far, for the first 2 months, you can copy me for free. But I think like after a while, I can sign up for their copy trade portfolio if I can show that the stats are lining up. And therefore, sure, you can deposit funds. You can invite your friends. Take note that I would get a $50 free for opening and referring people inside eToro. And of course, you can open it here. Take note that my Twitter channel, this is @FacesTrader. I showed my links so that you can actually open accounts if you haven't opened your eToro account. This is my eToro account. I get $50 for referring you, and you get $50 as well for getting and opening your own accounts. So it's here, all right? So I use IBKR. Take note that I use Interactive Brokers predominantly, but there's nothing wrong with opening many accounts. So I open my eToro, aka BTAC. BTAC is the SPAC that's actually the rumor for actually the entry of eToro in the market. So I'm sharing my link below if anyone wishes to copy everything I do. Take note that eToro has limited selections. If I have like 100 ideas, only about 25 ideas usually are in eToro. Nonetheless, anyway, if you have $100 out there lying down in the table or in the bank, you might as well open your eToro accounts. Your eToro, I think, has a minimum. I'm not sure if the minimum is $500, but I think like you might start it off with $500 or $1,000. Eventually, you know, put in some money if you have money to spare. So just sharing to you all these things. Vestas and Siemens Gamesa is actually the largest wind turbine systems in the world. So people ask me about Aboitiz Power. I think that Aboitiz Power is essentially a 25 to 30 kind of name. You can take a look at the market cap right now. So let's take a look at the market cap of Aboitiz Power. At the end of the day, even if you're renewable energy, we're talking about a $4 billion company here, Aboitiz Power. Take note that I usually have to compare you, even if you're Philippines, I'm going to have to compare you with worldwide counterparts, because at the end of the day, renewable energy, I can even own Brookfield Energy, which is an awesome 10x pick. And Brookfield Energy can do a high ROI, gives dividends as well. The point here is that everyone can invest globally. I don't need to constrain myself in the Philippines, and therefore, if there are not many attractive opportunities in the Philippines, I don't need to force myself here. All right, so comments. What are your takes regarding MRC? Sell. Miss Nikki, may I know your opinion of FGen? 31 seems to be a little bit expensive. So I think that it's about your percentage of your portfolio. Yes, it's a renewable energy. For those asking about Aboitiz Power and FGen, both are renewable energy plays. However, it might be a matter of time. I'm not saying that they would fall. In fact, most likely, if they fall, there will be a buyer. However, with the market today, 20% drops are actually not off the table. Asentado, well, Asen is also in a distribution zone. What do you think of MAC? Okay ba bumili tomorrow? It seems like all the reopening picks right now in the Philippines, we're talking about the value plays. MAC, SEB, or Carnage-related names. When you say Macro Asia, when you talk about Cebu Pacific, what you're essentially saying is, can I buy United Airlines in the US? Can I buy American Airlines in the US? Can I buy Delta Airlines? Can I buy Cebu, Cathay Pacific? Should I buy all of these airlines? So I'm going to give you some samplers, all right? So 293 is your Cathay Pacific, which is, you know, all of the airlines in the world were, of course, damaged. Like we're talking about 90, 70% down, most of them. So, all right, your Cathay Pacific, nobody is flying in Hong Kong, or rather very few, fell down. So if it has been falling actually even before the pandemic, but let's just say pandemic, right? 2020, it went from $10 to $5 or a 50% drop. Kind of similar to the Philippine market, wherein your Cebu Pacific fell 50%, only it went higher, big drops from about $100 to about $30. Take note of what happened in your Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines fell from about $60 all the way to about $16, and now it's back to $41. So you're seeing that most of these casinos, airlines, especially restaurants, have their own high quality reasons to go up and recover. The more you've got vaccines, the more people would travel. And so is it a question on whether you should buy MAC, Cebu Pacific? The answer is that these companies are good long-term. However, it doesn't mean that they will not, nothing prevents them from falling down 10% tomorrow or even 5% tomorrow. So if you're buying macro Asia at 6, you want to sell it at 10, 11, 12, you got to be aware that before you get hit 11 or 12, there's a chance that it actually goes down to 5. Nonetheless, if it goes to 5, will you panic? Probably not. It all depends on your exposure. AP is part of the 6 renewable energy suppliers under the Green Energy Option Program of the DOE. In general, I think that it's about the contribution of the renewable energy versus the coal. So you have to understand the Aboitiz Power is actually coal plus hydropower plus solar power. Without an exact picture of being a pure renewable energy play, you are going to see an offset here and a growth here. So you're going to lose money here, but you're also grow here. So it's like a mixture. It's like a stable, balanced thing. It is not a pure renewable energy play. If you really want the purest of the green energy plays, I'd say that you should know, and I'm giving it already, guys, listen to what I'm saying. Vestas wind systems, all the countries in the world are contracting wind systems everywhere. Now, if you want to check it out, do your best, sign up, Awesome 10X, join Inner Circle, understand the largest wind systems of the world. Now, what do you think of DFNN? I know nothing about it. We'll definitely copy you on eToro. Go ahead. Will you be trading your positions or going long-term? Chances are, guys, I will go long-term. I'm not a buy and sell. I buy and hold for a decade. Nonetheless, if I'm so huge in my gains, I might actually trim. I don't sell, it's just trim. What is the easiest, secure way to fund an account in Interactive Brokers? Well, you can actually go through the banks. You can use China Bank dollar accounts. I primarily use China Bank dollar account to fund my Interactive Brokers. A lot of the Awesome 10X Inner Circle members who don't know how can actually message us. We already have a video, but it's just unlisted here to tell everyone who has a problem in funding their IBKRs because they don't have a dollar account to simply pay me pesos, wherein we, with our money remittance licenses, can actually deposit dollars straight to your IBKR. Now, of course, for withdrawal, just in case you're asking, of course, at the end of the day, you need to own your own dollar account. So open your BPI dollar account, China Bank dollar account, Metro Bank dollar account, whatever bank you have, open a dollar account for them, and that's a way to go. You deposit, you withdraw, same thing. Is it possible that M2DC is the one buying the stock sold in BSC? Well, you think about this. They are authorizing a capital of they're gonna issue a billion more shares. When you're issuing a billion shares, you're actually raising money. Now, they could raise money in 10 cents. They could raise money at a peso. They could raise money at 50 cents. I don't know the price that they're going to raise their money, but chances are it's not 2 pesos. That's why it's sold down from 2 pesos. AR and ABA, I know nothing about them. Chances are they went up. Nobody knows why they went up. Nobody knows why they went down. What are your calls on AbbVie? Same thing. All of these are all speculative names. Are SPC and Mark still good? At the end of the day, ask yourself, do they even have revenues? Can you even hold on and marry them? If you can't, then probably you should learn to invest in things that you can actually marry and not just have one-night stands. The people who have one-night stands actually get AIDS. Thank you very much, guys. So stop asking now and just continue to like, subscribe, and share Awesome 10X, and see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.